They say sometimes the people you trust the most are not even human. I didn't believe in such things before. Ghosts, spirits, the supernatural, it all felt like something you watch in movies or hear in bedtime stories to scare children. But life has a way of teaching you that reality is far stranger and far more terrifying than anything you could ever imagine. This is my story. A story about a woman named Lisa, a babysitter who wasn't human. For years, I longed to be a mother. I prayed, I worked, I tried every possible medical procedure, but the miracle never came. Each negative test result felt like a stab to my chest, and each passing year left me feeling like my life was incomplete. My husband stood by me through it all, but the weight was crushing. Eventually, we made the decision to adopt. It wasn't the path I thought I'd take, but when I saw that little girl, the one who would become my daughter, I knew it was fate. And soon after, we hired Lisa.
From the moment she walked into our home, Lisa felt different. Not in a bad way. No, quite the opposite. She was gentle, warm, almost radiant. My daughter bonded with her immediately, clinging to her like they had known each other forever. At first, I thought it was just the kindness of a good nanny, but the way Lisa looked at my child, it wasn't just professional. It was love. Deep, unconditional love. She treated her like she was her own daughter. And the strangest thing, my daughter responded in the same way, as if some invisible cord tied them together. Over the years, Lisa became part of our family. She wasn't just a babysitter. She was a friend, a sister, a guardian angel of sorts. She cooked for us, cared for us, and above all, she raised my daughter with a devotion that sometimes even put me to shame. I never once doubted her. I never once questioned where she came from or what her story was. She was simply there, as though she had always been meant to be. But life doesn't let you live in peace for too long. 5 years passed like a dream. My daughter was growing fast, her bond with Lisa stronger than ever. And then came that night. It was a simple evening, really. We had gone to the park for a late campfire. The sun had slipped away, and the stars were beginning to glow above us. My husband, my daughter, Lisa, and I sat together, laughing, roasting marshmallows, enjoying the warmth of the flames. Everything felt perfect, almost too perfect. Then it happened. A man walked past us, someone I didn't recognize. He slowed, his eyes falling on Lisa. His face drained of color, his mouth fell open, and he stumbled as though he had seen a ghost. And in a way, he had. His voice trembled when he spoke. Lisa? Lisa, is that you? But you're dead. I was at your funeral. My heart froze. My daughter looked up at Lisa in confusion. My husband turned pale, and before I could even comprehend what was happening, before I could ask a single question, Lisa was gone, vanished. No footsteps, no goodbye, no explanation. Just gone, like smoke disappearing into the night air. I can still hear my daughter's scream from that moment. The raw, heartbreaking sound of a child reaching out for someone she loved, only to grasp nothing but emptiness. My husband collapsed to the ground, his face buried in his hands, whispering, "This can't be real. This can't be real." I stood frozen, paralyzed. The fire crackled, the wind whispered, but the world felt silent, hollow. God, that night broke something in all of us. My daughter hasn't been the same since. She wakes up crying, calling Lisa's name. Sometimes she stares into the corner of her room as if she's waiting for her to return. Therapy hasn't healed it. Time hasn't softened it. Because how do you explain to a child that the person they loved most was never truly alive? The truth came later. We dug into Lisa's past, desperate for answers. And what we found was worse than anything I could have imagined. Lisa was dead. He had been killed in an accident years ago. She had a daughter, my daughter. The very child I adopted after being told she had no family left. The same child who had bonded with Lisa instantly, because deep down, some part of her knew. Lisa hadn't been a stranger at all. She was her mother. A mother who had crossed the boundary between life and death to stay with the child she'd lost. And suddenly, it all made sense. The devotion, the love, the way my daughter clung to her. Lisa hadn't been babysitting. She had been mothering. It wasn't just her disappearance that terrified me. It was what I found weeks later. While trying to distract myself, I went through old receipts and bills stacked on the kitchen counter. Buried in the pile was a bank slip with Lisa's name on it. But that's impossible. She was never on my payroll. I always paid her in cash. The slip was tied to an investment account, showing movements and withdrawals long after the day she supposedly died. It felt like she was managing money, property, even real estate from beyond the grave, like she was still alive somewhere, living in shadows, building a future that didn't exist. My hands shook as I realized the horror wasn't just supernatural, it was financial. Like she had crossed between life and death to keep a grip on everything that once tied her to this world. When the truth came to light, we were forced to confront the past. We tracked down my daughter's real family, her grandparents, her biological father. They had lived all these years believing she was gone, only to find her again in the strangest way imaginable. It should have been healing. It should have been closure. But instead, it left us broken. Because how do you compete with a ghost? How do you process the fact that the love in your home was built on something otherworldly? Even now, my daughter struggles. Meeting her real family brought new questions, new scars. She loves them, but she still cries for Lisa. The trauma runs deep, and as much as I try to be her strength, I carry my own grief. Because despite everything, despite the terror, the mystery, the truth, I loved Lisa too. She wasn't human, but she was family. And here's what I've learned through it all. We spend our lives investing in things that feel safe. We chase wealth, real estate, technology, careers. We build walls of money and security around ourselves, hoping it will shield us from life's storms. But none of it matters when the storm comes from within your home. None of it matters when the person you trust most disappears into thin air. This experience changed me forever. It made me realize that life is fragile, unpredictable. We plan for retirement, save for investments, secure insurance policies, buy properties, diversify portfolios. But nothing in finance or business can prepare you for the day love itself comes knocking in the form of a ghost. Because sometimes, the most powerful forces in this world cannot be explained by numbers or logic. Sometimes, love is stronger than death. And sometimes, the people you trust the most aren't even human. That is my story, and it will haunt me forever.